maybe if the director doesn't know too much about wardrobe, my best advice for any director who's up and coming.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Welcome to K.A.P Collective,
where knowledge meets power.
And today's episode, we're gonna come to you guys about directing versus producing.
Featuring Greatezt
and Keith. A lot of people say the OC, but it's Theok, fellas and ladies.
I'm gonna still call him Keith.
So my brother,
what's going on?
So we've been working in this industry I've been working in this industry for about 6 years, and I know you've been in the industry for, I'm guessing 10?
So
10, 9?
I won't say industry. I could say I picked up a camera 10 years ago. Then I really devoted myself in this industry about, I started in 2018, so that's about what?
We're in 2024, so that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
That's me 6 years.
About 6 years?
Yeah, about 6 years.
Okay, but you was been shooting.
6? Oh, that's 7. I don't know.
About 6. Okay.
Yeah, about 6. My math is bad, guys. I'm sorry.
So we met back in 2019, and I started off being pretty much your PA. I met you when you already was directing. So my question to you today is, as a up and coming director, how was your first experience directing your own video and not behind somebody else? So give us details about talking with the client, getting the budget and stuff like that. And I don't know if you had a producer with you at the time. So how was that experience for you? So my first video or my first kind of big video? You could give us both, actually. So what was the difference between we know the grand difference for real. Of course, the big budget difference, but what was your experience directing your first music video? Gotcha. So my first music video, it kind of went like this. It was these three guys. They go by Formula. I'm not sure if they're still together. I don't think they're still together. But at the time, there was about 3 of them: Kanos, Vel, Ty. So at the time, and this was when I was in high school, I was getting very inspired by seeing AZ Productions. That's probably one of my favorite all-time directors. Yeah. And I saw the video he did with G Herbo, no, Little Herb at the time, and Little Bibby. It was Kill Shit. So after seeing that video, man, I just really wanted to lock in, and I wanted to lock in and make my own music videos. So I honestly just made a post. I was just like, hey, I'm shooting videos, hit me up whenever. And then, they hit me up. Yeah. And it was one of those videos, man. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like many of us. Yeah, I shot the entire video in 60 FPS, which nothing is wrong with doing that, but I exported the video in 60 FPS, which was just like a hell no. Yeah. I didn't really know settings, the shutter rule, aperture rule, the ISO rule at the time too much. I didn't know too much about my camera, but what I knew how to do at the time for sure was to edit. So that was pretty smooth. We just went to spot to spot, scene to scene. We went to their condo. I think we got a few scenes by what, the Ferris wheel in Biscayne. What's this thing called? Bayside. Bayside. We went to Bayside. So that was pretty cool. I charged. I charged $50 for my first music video. Yeah, $50. 50 for my first music video. That is insane. It is insane, but at the time, I was just so I just want to shoot something. I don't really care too much. And then it was just one of those things where, okay, cool, I got the video out. Now what's next? Fast forward, we ended up shooting more videos, along the way. My second video was way better than my first. And I guess it's funny because around my second video, that's when I kind of started understanding the real reason why 24 FPS exists. Yeah. And why you have to render at that too as well. And I guess fast forward to, I don't want to say
my first big video, because I feel like big is such a different word. Like, I'll say my first
Like
organized.
big budget organized.
Yeah, I'll say my first organized-ish video.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I could. No cap. Would that kind of be it?
No cap.
I'm thinking about
overtime.
overtime. Yeah, overtime. Okay, I could say that. So I'm gonna say this video, overtime with no cap, probably one of my favorite. Like, so without that video and what I've learned from that set, I feel like I would not be the director who I am today.
Yeah.
First of all, shout out to BLB. He gave me the platform. He gave me the resources that I need to make sure that day was a success. I was making very bad mistakes on that shoot. There was a lot of situations where I didn't know what I was doing, and I was kind of too scared to ask. At the time, what I've learned as being a director, you need to be very vocal when you're talking to these labels and these commissioners, because there's a lot of money being placed when it comes to these shoots, and everything matters. So at the time, I'm pretty sure I could say the budget. I don't think it mattered. I'm pretty sure I could say the budget. The budget at the time was like $6,000. So what
for that video?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because people.
Oh my goodness!
People would have thought.
I would have, bro. I'm not gonna lie. From like watching that video, because again, I think you shot that in 2020, COVID. 2020,
and I'm gonna tell you exactly why COVID was the best reason why that budget worked. No one wasn't making money.
That's crazy.
So at the time. So it's a funny story. At the time, I had the option, and I showed B.O.B. this. This is why and I love B.O.B. because he made me see film differently since this video. Him and Stilo Films, they both made me see film very differently since this video.
Yeah.
So I had an option of shooting, because we had got an Airbnb, right? I had an option because I was too kind of focused on the budget, and me and the producer was going back and forth. Shout out Emil, he was such a great producer. And he's a GOAT for this. I don't know how he pulled this off. I was so focused on trying to make everything make sense and make the treatment I had also make sense too as well. That I wanted to use the Airbnb that we had. I felt like the Airbnb that we had was a great Airbnb. I feel like it had a lot of rooms. We had an outside, and it could have worked.
Yeah.
And then Emil showed me this hotel lobby area that we could shoot at too. And I'm being like, okay, it makes sense for the treatment for me to still be in this room.
Yeah.
So I told
You
Bill
talking about
the Airbnb.
Okay. No, I'm talking about the location he showed you.
Yeah, it was the big hotel space that we eventually shot at.
Yeah.
So I told B.O.B., yeah, we're gonna shoot at this Airbnb. He looked at me crazy. Because for one, he was like, I have the opportunity to shoot in this big hotel and I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
So he was just like, we're doing a hotel, you're going to change up the treatment, and you're going to come up with a better concept.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm actually kind of happy it worked out that way. Because looking back at it, I didn't come up with a very interesting concept, treatment, and it was just really just doing, this is my first everything. So I was just kind of like, yo, okay, I was just kind of going with the flow, understanding that this is kind of really how the industry kind of is at the same time. Because at the same time, guys, if I would have shot this no cap video in this house, it would have been probably the same exact videos that you see now, which is crazy. Because then it would have looked like a real, maybe 5,000-6,000 video, maybe. Yeah. But then we took it to another level. We created a brand new treatment where we was basically celebrating no cap success, and we took it to the hotel room, and we kind of made it seem like, hey, this is his mansion, this is his place, this is what he owns now. Yeah. And at the time,
it really did.
Yeah. And at the time, it was crazy that we was able to pull that. And again, shout out Emil Wilson. I believe he's running for governor now, for something now. I don't really know. I just look at his page. I always even like. He pulled this hotel room. He pulled this whole hotel lobby, and I was just like, this is crazy. And he pulled it for like I think like $1,000 or $2,000. I still couldn't believe it.
Wow.
But at the time, keep in mind, we're in Mobile, Alabama. this is like in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
No one wasn't really making money like that, so it was just like, why not? You feel me? So it was just like it was pretty fun. I learned a lot of great things from that shoot. BLB was giving me a lot of perspectives because BLB he's a director. Mm-hmm. Young Thug's most notable videographer. He made all of Young Thug's great videos, Best Friend, all that. And I was learning alongside with him while he was commissioning the video, and I couldn't have been any more grateful. There was a few things I actually took from him, and one of these things that I took from him was when I'm picking a location, I need to pick a location that has dimension.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned.
I learned something new just now.
Yeah, because when you pick a location that has dimension, you're able to make like 4 different scenes. Versus if, for example, I would have shot it in an Airbnb, I would have had very limited stuff to really work with, honestly, and it would have not made sense. And looking at it now, I'm just kind of happy that, you know, he took the steering wheel from me for a second to show me and direct me on how things should honestly be done. Because the concept I had was okay, but because of us doing this, we took it up to another level that's never been seen before. I don't really know much videos that's been shot in a hotel lobby like that. I don't honestly, I know one. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty hard.
That's a tough location to grab.
That's what I'm saying. And the fact that we pulled it for like $1,000 to $2,000 is kind of crazy. To this day, it's still kind of crazy.
I have a question. So So who was your producer on that set? Who was producing for that?
So Emil Wilson. He was probably one of the best producers to this day that I've ever worked with. Like really one of the very best ones. For one, he was able to pull anything that I had. And he was able to pull everything that I needed for that day. Not everything, but he was able to really see what he could work with. So for example, $6,000, guys, and I'm gonna be very transparent. It's not a lot of money.
It's not.
It's
not a lot of money.
Believe it or
not, it's not.
It's not a lot of money to work with. But what he was able to do for me was he was able to we needed a money counter. Yeah. Right. So what we did was we got the money counter and we returned it. Yeah. You feel me?
Smart.
Right. Just so we could make the budget work. Yeah. Because obviously I don't really need them. At the time I didn't really need a money counter. And it was kind of out of budget. These money counters were like, I think 200, 300.
Jeez. Because you guys were buying it in person.
Yeah, and we already got the Airbnb. We rented a car to drive there too. So, and we had a DD.
You guys had to drive over there.
Yeah, we had to drive. Yo,
how long did it take y'all?
Man, probably like 9 hours.
9 hours? Oh yeah.
No, about like 7 to 9 hours. But here's the thing, guys. Tickets to Mobile, Alabama. Very expensive. You'll be surprised. Again, COVID time. COVID time being
that's the finesse right there.
COVID was a great thing but a bad thing. Yeah. So tickets were very expensive. That's one. Two, it was very because of Mobile, Alabama not being a tourist spot. Mm-hmm. I guess tickets were also more expensive because of that. They were charging like $500 a head for a ticket. So I felt like it just made sense for me.
Not even including them check bags.
Exactly. So I felt like it just really made sense for me and Stilo Films to just Stilo Films and Six, shout out my dog Six. Yeah. To just drive over there.
That makes sense. Because you don't have to worry about your gear, check bags, and all these extra stuff too. Yeah. So me. So other than that, Emil already had the place. He already got his food. Yeah. He was a pretty great producer to work with, man, and I feel like one of the best things one of the best things you need as a director is to honestly have a really great producer along your side, because that producer will push your project forward and make sure you are gonna get everything done within budget. And I feel like that plays a very important role in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, and I know right now that's currently what you do as a producer. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what's the difference between a creative producer and a regular producer? I've always wanted to know that. Okay, well, shoot, I honestly personally found out recently because I was doing a bunch of treatments. So my brother told me, he said, "Hey Keith, you know you're not a producer. You're not a no." I was calling myself a creative director. That's what it was. So he told me, "Keith, you're finding locations, you're doing all of these things. There's actually a position for this called creative producer." And I was like, "Oh," so I searched it up and I looked at the terms and I was like, I literally do all of these things, you know, like from finding locations, doing the treatments, doing all of these things for the director. So I'm like, okay, bet. So I came along with creative producer. It won't be too much of a difference. I think the main difference is that the from the producer side of things is that for the producer really focuses more on the side. The producer really focuses more on budgeting. Making sure that the director has what he needs, locations, making sure contracts is getting signed, making sure people is there on time, and all these other things. As far as creative producing, I feel like you're literally there working with the director, and you're inside the director's head. Your director is telling you like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What may we need for this? How much would this cost? Do you know a location? Do you know somebody?" So that would literally be the main difference. Also, the creative producer does these things as well too, but it's more, the creative producer is more heavy on the creative side of things, kind of like I'll call it the director's sidekick as the creative producer.
Absolutely. So basically you're just kind of overseeing things, like for example,
so I'll say that about that. But a lot of people are creative producers, they just don't know that yet.
Gotcha.
So man, but my favorite, I'll just continue, but one of my favorite projects I created produced, man, it's been a lot, but I don't even know. I have so much.
Yeah, you do, man.
I have a lot of projects.
Can I just like tell you my favorite project?
What's your favorite creative produced project?
From you, off the rip, I love the Moneybag Yo video.
Moneybag Yo video.
I love the Moneybag Yo video.
Yeah.
Well, what's the song called again?
It was called Quickie.
Quickie. I love that video, and I love it for so many reasons. Cause that day, like working with Moneybag, for one, great artist.
Yeah,
like
great. Yeah.
Moneybag Yo is one of those guys that he loves to be involved in his videos creatively. Yeah. And he's extremely professional. That's a very
honestly, like
very professional guy.
I definitely piggyback on that too.
Yeah.
I was surprised. No, it was my first time working with him. But when he entered the location and he literally came to everybody and shook our hands, I was like, oh yeah, this man is invested. Like, not only that, like he's very respectful in knowing that, you know what, these people is putting their time into the vision that I wanted as well. And I'll tag along with the story on how that even came about. Well, I worked alongside with Diesel Films, of course. He put me on a lot of projects as well, so I always respect him for that. One of the things how that came along was Moneybag originally had this idea of him being in space and things like that. So I was like, whoa, this is totally different from coming from an artist in his caliber. I'm not saying like, you know, no streets artists cannot do these videos, but it was surprising to see like, man, this man really want to step outside the box. So the label, they had sent me a whole like outline kind of aspect of it, of how they wanted it. So it was one of those things where they took a whole bunch of random clips from different videos and they put it all together. And then
I remember. Yeah.
So they did that, and then they just added the song to the video thing that they sent.
What do you call? You know what's funny about? And I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I used to make those, and I didn't know what to call them. What do you call those?
To be real, I personally don't do them. It was my first time when they sent me that. It was my first time seeing that. But I think if you want to put it in terms, you'll call that like a video treatment. Because if you look at it, if you pay attention to it, you're literally putting the whole idea of what you see happening. You're just adding the song to it.
Gotcha.
You know. So if you literally watch the video and then you tell like, hey, you tell the client like, hey, or the artist, hey, watch this video I'm gonna send you with the song, and then this the vision we're gonna go with instead of actually writing it out or whatever the case may be. So I'll call that like a video treatment, if that makes sense.
And you do regular treatments. So how's the process with that going? And for any director who's just getting into making treatments. This is my question. How do you what's your mindset behind these treatments? How do you start things off? if you coming, if do you have to hear the budget first? Like, what needs to happen before you need to make a treatment?
Okay, so how I go about it, sometimes I never get the budget. For the most part, I never get the budget. It'll be great to.
It's so lame. I hate
yeah,
that.
because then it comes to the fact like you make this dope treatment, and then they'll hit you with that like, hey, this is awesome, but this won't fit the budget. You know what I mean? So now you have to come up with a whole other thing. But if you get the treatment, great. If you don't, then how I go about it is I never rush my treatment sometimes.
But you do get rushed though.
But I do get rushed sometimes.
By me too, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, so it'll be like a last minute text or like, hey, Keith, I need a treatment done by tomorrow. I need it ASAP. You feel me? Then I'm like, shoot. Like I'll be randomly out with family and I'm like, dang, I gotta go. I got a treatment to do, whatever.
Sorry.
But if that's not the case though, I take at least a day or at least 8 hours. That's how I usually go about it. I'll listen to the song a few times over and over and over and over and just let it marinate. I start listening to the lyrics. I start looking at the artist's background. I also look into the artist's old videos and I'll be like, you know what, let me see what he likes, what he don't like. Let me see if I can pitch this idea to him to see if this will get him outside his box, you know? And I always pitch an idea that I try to make it different from all their other videos. Because I feel like that will make an artist stand out and you as a person creating these treatments stand out as well.
Gotcha.
So that's my route I take. If I'm being rushed, then I only have a few minutes or just a few hours to get this thing done, then I'll go ahead and I'll come up with something just off the top or whatever I have outside of my head.
Gotcha.
You feel me? Because there'll be times where I'm literally have so much ideas, especially if the song is a dope song. I'll have so much ideas and I gotta pick one. I gotta pick one. I'll go ahead and take this route and I'll just go ahead and do that idea. So that's usually how it goes when it comes to just writing these treatments for these artists and stuff. And then at times it gets boring sometimes when it comes to an artist that's like, I say it, that's repetitive with things,
Yeah.
So
especially when it's like, one of the things, because I write treatments too, one of the things I don't like is when an artist know for a fact they want to do a run and gun video, but they still want a treatment
done.
I've
gotten that many times.
I be so confused, like, and sometimes you'll get asked from, I guess, whoever's throwing the pitch to you, like, let's try to come up with a creative run and gun. Like, how do you go about that at least? Like, trying to do a run and gun type of video, but still give it a more creative, I guess, look.
Again, I always ask them, what do you want? What are some of the smallest things that you want us to just go ahead and do? Make sure that I get those things that they want. And if it comes down to the fact that, okay, we don't have the budget or we don't have X, Y, and Z, whatever that may be for them, then I'll go ahead and I'll be like, look, this is what we can do. I'll take some of your ideas, but we can't do everything. You know what I mean? But I'll go ahead and I'll just shoot whatever idea that they gave to me. I'll try to do it in a compact way, if that makes sense. So they come with me this whole big idea, and I'll be like, okay, look, we can do this and this, but we have to eliminate these things in order for it to fit the budget and in order for it to last as a running gun. Because some of these concepts, they definitely take off and be 8-hour days, and it was supposed to be a running gun day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know we have to wrap up. So just a quick advice: what would you give to a young director who's up and coming at this time?
At this time period, for a director who is up and coming, I guess my best, I think my best advice for any director who's up and coming, you need to have a pro DP that you're building with.
That's
a pro DP that you have a great relationship with. Will help you a long way. I guess there's like a few DPs that I've worked with, but the one I have a really great close relationship with, who helped me for sure, has been Stilo Films. Because
shout out to Stilo for sure.
Man, because I'm not gonna lie, he held my hand during this No Cap video, and he made me realize some things that I need to kind of keep in mind when it comes to structuring my sets. And I have gotten so better over the years on doing these things, like having backup plans for certain things, and him elaborating why that we need these little things, because these little things help with the video. I'm gonna give you a quick example. There was a while, like this was the Kiddo Marv FTH Mari toxicity video.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so
remember
sorry.
that. I remember what video you're talking about though.
Yeah, that video. Me and Steelo was on the phone for probably like 25 to 30 minutes, and he was trying to convince me why we need a painting. And yeah, at this time, I already went over budget.
Yeah.
And I was like so tired of being over budget.
Yeah.
Like at the time, I was just like, yo, Steve, I love you, man, but I do not want to spend $30 on a painting.
Nah, I feel.
And I don't want to. And at the time, I didn't. At the time, I was already so tired. I was already over budget. I'm not gonna say I was cranky, but I was just like, it was just so much going on creative, and he wanted me to get this painting. And I was just like, Steelo, I cannot get this painting, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why you want this painting. I don't think we need it. Whatever. At the time, he was just like, all right, I'm gonna get the painting.
Yeah.
So he got the painting. He put the painting right in front of the frame what he was talking about.
And it looked probably.
It looked great. It looked great, and I see why he put it there.
That is so
I see
crazy.
why he asked for it. And then ever since then, I started, like, I took this one thing from him, and I was just like, I'm gonna make sure I paint my sets. Like, that one little thing that he did for me, I made sure that I followed throughout my entire tenure as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing I could say, get that DP that you like working with, build with him, and you guys will learn from each other. Right now, I have a lot of DPs that I have great relations with. One more for safety, Jawan Chapman, James Kusipe, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Who else? Who I've recently worked with on one of my big projects. Phil Lee, great guy.
Yeah.
But I probably might be missing a few more other DPs. B Wade.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I like building these relationships with these DPs because I learn something every single time. And even if you may not understand everything, like logistic-wise in film, having a DP will kind of help you understand things a lot more better.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing I could say, it will be having a great DP along your side. They will help you get the job done. They'll do it in the most strategic way possible, and they'll make sure like they'll make sure your project comes out exactly how you wanted it, if not better.
Yeah. So, as far as creative producer, man, I'll go ahead and if you're a creative producer or a producer that wants to come up in the game, man, definitely watch a lot of music videos, watch a lot of movies and shows, and you'll be fine because you'll have all these references that you can go ahead and lean on and share these references with your directors. That's what I'll say.
Sounds good.
That's about it, man. But yeah, so that'll be our episode of K.A.P Collectives. Hope to see you guys soon.